our issues, right? And our issues tend to pack in different things per month to month. So like some of them have mission packs where they come with missions, some will come with weapons, and hopefully early next year we're going to release a whole new zone, a whole new playfield. And this is Ground Zero, this is Tokyo. Now for you who played the game, you've played through the very start of the game where you played through this subway level in Tokyo. So we'll be revisiting that in the storyline. The player comes back and actually plays through this from the opposite side now, starts to see everything from a different perspective. And then they come out in this sort of dystopian Tokyo. Things have gone a bit wrong in the city since this terrorist attack several months ago. And what we're really trying to do with the game is, we have the modern day setting, which no other MMO does. And we're really trying to drive home to people that this is our unique selling point for the game. Like, this is a game that takes place in the real world. Thank you. Do you want that? Sure. This is a game that takes place in the real world, and you are a member of these conspiracies. You're covering these things up. And so all of our location designs really take that into account. I mean, these are based on locations in Tokyo, real reference material. We really try to make players feel like they're experiencing authentic real-world locations, but with, of course, our Secret World storytelling twist. And in the Secret World story, the player has been sort of dealing with understanding this sort of first season, Act 1 as we call it, of the story. The player's been trying to understand why this darkness is taking over the entire world. And in Tokyo, we'll be wrapping up Act 1. Because we see MMOs as an ongoing story commitment. We consider these like TV episodes. Every monthly update comes with new information and new episodes. So when we finally get to Tokyo, we'll be wrapping up the first act of the story and we'll be moving into Act 2. And we have this corporation called the Hiroshi Corporation, who we'll talk a little bit more about later, but they play a very big role in Tokyo and what happens there. And that's their home base in Tokyo. So as I mentioned, we're kicking off Act 2, and we have all these types of missions in the game: investigation, sabotage, action missions. Players really love those. We'll be adding tons more of those in Tokyo. New challenges, new encounters. We're doing. We have some of the best monster designers in the world, and we'll continue to add really, really cool and interesting monsters to the game. And of course, because we're going to Tokyo now, we have the ability to go and dig into Japanese myth and legend and start doing some really cool things with that. Pop culture as well, any Japanese horror movie that you've seen recently will probably have something that ties into this. And then in addition to that, we're also going into sort of the Hiroshi Corporation and what they do, and these are some of the creations that they have roaming the streets of Tokyo, and these are like their drones who are defending the streets from the filth. And sometimes these guys will be hostile and then face masks turn red, and then we have the big mechs who walk around, with the sad and the happy face, and they'll let you know if you're on their side or not. And I guess the key thing with Tokyo is we did Solomon Island, like New England, and that's like King Lovecraft. We did Egypt, which is like Indiana Jones, and we did Transylvania, which is like Bram Stoker meets Frankenstein, right? And with Tokyo, we're doing Escape from New York meets Outbreak. Outbreak, that's the word. Outbreak. Escape from New York meets Outbreak. It's like a walled-off section of Tokyo, and players have to sort of get in there and try to understand what's going on. So that's coming in early 2013. But now we're going to talk about something that's coming very soon, less than 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks away, yeah. Yep. And that's our first weapon update. Yes. Talk about that now.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, we don't have any classes. It's all about the abilities. And for if you played the game before, the ability wheel is a familiar sight. This is where we have all the 500 abilities divided evenly out amongst blades, hammers, fists, blood magic, chaos magic, elementalism, shotguns, pistols, and assault rifles. So as I mentioned, it's all about finding abilities that work well together, coming up with a build, finding weapons that have synergy in some way, and then taking that into battle. But now we're adding this whole new element. Usually you had to pick 7 active abilities and 7 passive abilities, but now we've added this 8th slot that you can use for any auxiliary weapon. So we added this whole new wheel. This is the auxiliary wheel. And the first weapon that we will release in 2 weeks is the rocket launcher. And as you see, more and more weapons will come here. Like we will keep pushing out new cool weapons, and we can do lots of cool things here, like flamethrowers and miniguns and chainsaws and nunchucks or shurikens. Like we can do a lot of cool things with this. But since this is the first auxiliary weapon, we want it to be useful in most types of builds. So this is a fairly standard damage dealing weapon. You can use it for either single target damage, area effect damage, but you can also use it for some added mobility, which you will see in this is very popular in especially PvP builds. Common to all the rocket launcher abilities is that whenever a missile explodes, it will leave an area on the ground that burns, and whoever steps into that fire will take damage. So every ability has some area effect component to it, but they are still divided up into single target, area targeted, or mobility. So we'll take a look at the single target now, see if we can blow up this truck. It's called the big red button. It's great for when you're fighting a single target and you just need that little extra oomph. I should mention that this character is a bit overpowered, so if you think that it'll work out like this in PvP, no, that's not how it's going to work, but it looks better on the screen right now at least. But we can take a look at the area effect ability. It's called the cluster struck. And it's great for taking down a group of enemies. Once you use the ability, you select where you want the missile to hit, fire one up, it branches out, clusters out, and deals damage to an area. So that's great for fighting if you're running a build that revolves around area effect damage. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we also added some mobility to the rocket launcher in the form of a rocket jump. So you will do damage to an area where you start, but also damage to the area where you land. Take a look at how that looks. That's really nice if your build needs some extra mobility of either getting into a fight quickly or out from a fight quickly. So we really think that the addition of auxiliary weapons to the Secret World will make this really deep ability system that we already have even deeper and bring that extra element to it. So it's all about finding the right ability, the right auxiliary weapon, and the right ability that fits well with your build, that really boosts your build and complements your build. The cool thing about this rocket launcher or any auxiliary weapon is that it's not just any auxiliary weapon, it's yours. In this case, the rocket launcher, it's yours. You can't just go to the marketplace, buy a rocket launcher, and then you have a rocket launcher. No, you need to earn it. So in order to get this rocket launcher, you get a mission from your secret society. And you go out in the world, and I'm not going to spoil the mission, but the reward is your rocket launcher, and you will keep that forever. And it's a basic rocket launcher, but you can upgrade it, you can customize it, you can change the looks, and you can upgrade the damage to it. So let's say, for instance, that you successfully managed to complete one of the harder dungeons in Transylvania. Then you can upgrade your rocket launcher to look like a Soviet rocket launcher. And let's say, for instance, that you successfully complete one of the dungeons in Hell. Then you can upgrade it to make it look like a hellish rocket launcher. And this is still yours, like you are only customizing your rocket launcher that you earned through that mission. And you just keep upgrading it, making it stronger and making it look the way you want it to look. So we're really excited about that. I think that will be a cool addition to the Secret World. It fits well. We're going to leave auxiliary weapons and give you guys a sneak peek on our first raid, which will be added to the game already in October. Right now the Secret World doesn't have any raids, so we're really excited about being able to add that so soon. Right now the dungeons come in 3 different difficulty settings. It's normal, which is fairly hard, but it's still considered normal in our game. Then we have the elite version, which is harder. Monsters have more hit points, they deal more damage, so it's quite challenging. And we have for the insane, the nightmare modes, and they're really, really hard. Monsters have gotten some extra abilities, and just one fuck up from the players and you're dead. But players are doing it, and they are incredibly clever. I mean, they're a better player than us. And it's so cool to watch how they combine the abilities and coming up with synergies that we haven't even thought of. And they put this into action and actually manage to do the nightmare moves, and that's just really cool to see.
So yeah, the raid which we're going to show you takes place in New York City, in Times Square. Times Square is the